Hello, everybody. Coming to you here on a Thursday instead of a Wednesday. Yesterday was my birthday, so I took the day off. It's been a couple weeks, I think, since I've been online here talking with you guys. We are going to be taking a look at some soccer plays today. Again, I like to go where people aren't, and right now, soccer cards seem to be a good price. We're going to be talking all raw to grade situations. I want to say there are maybe 10 plays here, so it's not going to be a super long video this week. I promise next week to get back to some basketball and football, as well as the viewer that was going to come on and talk with me this week. It didn't work out. So we'll do that probably next week as well. So here we go. Hope you guys enjoy. Hey, Logan, welcome in. So let's get to some soccer plays here, guys. Let's pull up the first one we're going to talk about. So first one we're going to talk about is none other than Jude Bellingham. As you can see here on the screen, this is the 2020 Topps Chrome UEFA Champions League card number JB7. It is Jude Bellingham, Topps Chrome. It is a rookie card, or it's got the RC logo. Raw, this card, as you can see, most recently sold for $9 on August 15th, and that was for $9. There have been 57 sales. The 1 year average is $10, as you can see. A PSA 9 is $65. That sold on August 7th. So in a PSA 9, you're going to be looking at, if you can get it for around $10 plus your grading fees, you're going to be in the card for about $30, $32 with shipping. And you can double your money and get $65 in a PSA 9. Now, the reason I put this card on there is it's an interesting play because the PSA 9 sold on August 7th for $65. A PSA 10 hasn't sold since July. And in July, a PSA 10 sold for $51, which is $14 less than the PSA 9 just sold for. So this is a play where I believe the next PSA 10 that sells, you're going to see it for closer to $100. If the 9 sold for $65, a 10 is probably going to be in that $100 to $120 range. There just haven't been many that have sold, so you just haven't seen many yet. So there is a 66% gem rate on this card. So you should have a pretty good chance of at least getting a 9 and doubling your money. The next card we're going to talk about, let's get rid of this one. Next card up will be why is this not working? Technical difficulties here, guys. All right, here we go. Here we go. It's been a while. I'm getting rusty. Forgot what I was doing here for a minute. All right, here we go. So the next one up on the screen here is a 2021 Topps Living card number 400. It is Lionel Messi. Raw, the card sells for $7. As you can see, there have been 13 sales. Average is about $10. If you take the $10 play and you add the grading fees of $21 with shipping, you got $31 invested. A PSA 9's $43. After fees, you're gonna break even at best on a PSA 9, but a PSA 10, which has a 67% gem rate, is $80. So once again, you can double your money by going to a PSA 10. And with a 67% gem rate, I think this card is a card that will do well. Always good to get messy cards. They sell well. They're very liquid, and it doesn't seem to really matter what card, as long as it's a high grade messy, sell well. All right, next card up is a Kylian Mbappe Red Wave. This card is a 2018 Prism. It's a World Cup card. It's card number 80. It is the red blue wave in raw condition. $115 is the most recent sale. Now, this card's only sold 7 times, so it's a little bit harder card to come by. A PSA 9 was $168. So at $115 plus your grading fees, you're going to be in it for around $135, even $140. So again, a PSA 9 at $168, you're going to turn a small profit at a PSA 9. But here's the reason why this card is on here. There's a 51% gem rate. This card in a PSA 10 sells for $500. So if you can take a card that you can have $130 investment in and you can turn that into $500, giddy up, sign me up. That is the type of risk that I'm wanting to take. When a PSA 9 nets me a couple bucks and a PSA 10 4X's my money, I love that. Hey, Brad, welcome in. Thanks for being here. Colonials joined me. I see you made it. Spoiler: Colonial was going to be the special guest with me. He will be on here. Hopefully, we'll get that worked out for next week, talking football and basketball. K-Law Collections, welcome in. We're talking all soccer here today, guys. Hey, Mark. Yeah. This was my birthday week, which is why I wasn't on last night. No interest in soccer. You need a break in buying. All right, that's good. There's some pretty good plays here. You might be tempted anyways. But anyways, yeah, it had to take a little bit of a break here. A couple of weeks worked out well for me. And we'll try to get back to a weekly schedule now moving forward. Well, here comes, this is the Mbappe again. See, I'm a little rusty. It's been a while. There we go. Here we go. All right. So next card. No, that's back to the first card. What am I doing here, guys? All kinds of technical glitches here. It's a good thing that this is a short video this week. Let's try this one. Here we go. Now we're on to Phil Foden. So the next car up is 2018 Donruss Optic Hollow Phil Foden, card number 179. This is not a rookie card. However, it does sell very well. So as you can see, the most recent sale was $26 in raw condition. The card is sold 17 times in raw condition. It has a PSA 9 most recent sale of $54, and there's a 72% chance of a PSA 9. So you take your 26 bucks, add your 21 for grading and shipping, you're going to be in it for about $47. A PSA 9 nets you a break even. That's why this is on here. You're breaking even on a PSA 9 after fees, so there's really very little risk involved. It is only 11% gem rate, but in a PSA 10, if you can gem that card, $237 and a nice 2.5 times your investment. So I like the play simply because it works out well, that a PSA 9 is going to break even. anytime you can get a PSA 9 that breaks even with a high upside of a PSA 10, those are the types of plays, as you guys know, that I love. So, all right, we did the Lionel Messi already. So let's get rid of this. Atlas Cards, welcome in. We're talking soccer cards today. This is going to be a relatively short video. I've been off a little bit here for the last couple of weeks and wanted to make sure I could get on with some helping you guys make some money this week. So we're picking out some soccer cards. Thank you for the birthday wishes. I appreciate that. Welcome in, Sports Card 11. All right, next card up is 2018 Don Russ Press Proof, card number 177. It is the Vinicius Jr., Vinny Jr. card. This card sells raw. Most recently, we'll round it up to $13. There have been 24 sales. If you take that and you add your $21 grading fee, you are looking at about $34, $35 invested. A PSA 9 is $55. So you are looking at a $10 to $15 profit after fees on a PSA 9. A PSA 10 is $150, so you can 3x your money on this card. And that has a 46% gem rate. So for a chance at 3xing your money or even making a little bit of money on a PSA 9, this is a very nice play. Yeah, Brad's saying that he loves soccer, but they seem to be a little bit more difficult to figure out than the other sports. And it is, Brad, and that's why I'm doing this. I am helping you figure out which soccer cards to do. Soccer, I've got a buddy of mine that is big into soccer. He owned his own card shop. He got back into cards because of soccer cards, and he lost his ever-loving butt last year on soccer cards. So now he waits for me to do these videos and tell him which cards to do. And he's been doing very, very well as of recently with the plays that I've been telling him. You just got to be selective. And if you're selective, you can make money on soccer. You just can't buy the players that you like or buy certain cards because there's too much risk involved. So I agree, Brad. All right, next card up is a Lamine Yamal. He's been in a lot of videos lately. He's been in the news lately. He is the youngest up-and-comer in the soccer world. This is his Optic Holo. It's in his club uniform or club kit, as the soccer players call it, soccer people call it. Card number 177. Most recent sale was $30. There have been 477 sales of this card. So this card sells very often. It hasn't even been out for 6 months and already 477 sales. So this is a very easy card to come by. There are literally hundreds of them on eBay. One of the easiest plays to make if you're looking at making a play here tonight. PSA 9, $63. So $30 plus your grading fees. You'll have $52, $53 with shipping. You're going to make $1 or $2 after fees on a PSA 9. You aren't going to lose any money on a PSA 9, which is important. And a PSA 10 is $155. So again, you're going to 3x your money on a PSA 10 with a 52% gem rate. So this card is hot right now. Yamal is hot right now. And this is a very easy play to make because it is so readily available. Welcome in, Stephen. We're doing soccer here tonight. We are moving through just talking sports cards and soccer. Next one up is another Lamine Yamal. He is probably the easiest soccer player to make money on right now because he is his cards are so hot. This is his Topps Club Competitions, card number 64. This is the Infernal foil card. This card, although it's not been out very long, there is not a lot on the market yet. So you can be one of the first to the market on here. So this card in raw condition sells for $14. There have been 29 sales of the card so far. In a PSA 9, it sells for $64. So 14 plus your 21, you're going to have about $35. You are going to come close to 2xing your money on a PSA 9. However, there are 0 PSA 10s. So there have only been 7 of these cards graded so far. There have been 29 sales in raw condition, but there have only been 7 that have been graded by PSA. 2 of them are PSA 9s. 5 of them have been PSA 8s. There is a 71% chance of a PSA 8. In a PSA 8, the cards most recently sold for $38. So you're going to break even on a PSA 8. You're going to double your money on a PSA 9. And because there are no PSA 10s, if you can get a good one to get a PSA 10, you could triple or quadruple your money on this. You're going to be the first PSA 10. It'll be a 1 of 1. And that will be a very desirable card for the first person to get a 10 on that card. Mark bought a Verstappen Sapphire. It was more difficult to sell than he expected. Also, Alcaraz Net Pro market is stagnant. Yeah, well, Alcaraz didn't have such a great Olympics. I think that his last couple of outings, he's bowed out of the tournaments relatively early, and that's really made his cards stagnant. Hopefully you did a raw to grade, Mark, to where you got room and you can just either hold on to it or put it at auction, let it go, and at least break even on the card. Yeah, spoiled with baseball and basketball is right. Verstappen, the Verstappen cards are not that hard to move if you put them at auction, but they are definitely harder to move than a baseball, basketball, or football card. That's why the raw to grade is so important, because you're going to be in it cheap enough that if you put it on a 7 or a 10-day auction, when it's all said and done, you're gonna make money even on a 9, double, triple your money on a 10. That's why I'm doing these plays. I want to make sure that you guys, soccer is less desirable. It is harder to move. So making these plays is very critical if you're going to dabble in the soccer market, because it gives you the margins to be able to move the cards at an auction and move them quickly. You don't want to hang on to soccer cards for an extended period of time unless it's, one of the GOATs. They drastically can fall quickly. So I don't want to see anybody losing their butt on soccer cards. So if you make these plays, as soon as the cards come back, get them listed, get them sold. Don't wait for any type of selling marker. As soon as the card comes back, get them listed, get them gone. I actually recommend on these probably a 7-day auction to guarantee that they sell, so you're not hanging on to them. Just get them, flip them, get in, get out as quick as you can. All right, there's 3 cards left here tonight we're going to talk about. This one is, speaking of one of the GOATs, it's another Lionel Messi card. It's a 2022 Prism World Cup card number 7. It is the base card. This card most recently sold for $10 in raw condition. PSA 9 sells for $43. There have been 300 sales in the raw condition, so it's a very easy card to come by. Almost 1 per day is selling. At $43, if you take the $10 plus your grading fees and shipping, you're going to be in the card for $32, $33. PSA 9's $43. So again, this is why I like this play. You are going to, at very worst, break even on a PSA 9 with the upside of a PSA 10. The PSA 10 is $76, so you'll double your money in a 10. It's a 38% gem rate. There are 2,300 of these cards graded. This is a very liquid card. This card does sell very well. It does sell quickly. You just got to make sure that you're in it right, so you are not taking a bath if you have to get rid of the card. All right, 2 more plays to go here, guys. Next play up is 2023. This is the last Lamine Yamal on the list today. I gave you 3 Yamals that are able to make money on. This is his Panini Mega Cracks La Liga EA Sports card number 108 BIS. It's a base card. It most recently sold for $24. This card sells 13 times recently. In a PSA 9, it sells for $101. So at $24 plus your grading fees, you'll have $45 on the card. $101. You are doubling your money on a PSA 9. There's a 47% chance of that. So I would make this play, hope for a 9, and if you get a 10, that's icing on the cake. However, if you do get the PSA 10, PSA 10 is $170. So you're going to 4x your money. It's got a 20% gem rate. So 28.8% gem rate, almost a 30% gem rate. And it's a I looked at the wrong. It's a $400 card in PSA 10. So it is a 4x of your money, but it is, you're going to go from $100 to a $400 card. Actually, it's almost 10x your money because you're going to have $45 tied up in this card with grading. So PSA 10, almost a 10x your money. It's a double your money on a PSA 9. This is, in my opinion, the best play to make if you're going to make one of these plays. A little bit harder card to find, but if you can find this card, there aren't many plays where you can double your money on a 9 and 10x your money on a PSA 10, especially with almost a 30% gem rate. So we might all be fighting after this card if you can find this card. I've bought one. If you watched my pickups of the week, I did buy one so far. But watch for this card. If you're on this card, maybe make sure I'm not on it and bidding against you. I already have one, so if you're on it and you're viewing my channel and you text me and message me that you're on it, I will back off and let you hopefully bid to win that card. All right, the last card we're going to talk about is another Messi card. It's a 2021 Mosaic. It's card number 10. It is the silver parallel. This card is $16 in raw condition, so you're going to have $38 in it with grading and shipping. PSA 9 sells for $50, so you're going to make about $5 to $7 after fees on a PSA 9. 50% chance of that. PSA 10 is $170, so you're going to 4 to 5x your money on a PSA 10, but it's only a 20% gem rate, so a little bit trickier to get the 10s. But all of the plays that I gave you here tonight, guys, everything I gave you, the PSA 9 is with a floor is a break even. There's nothing on this list that I did tonight that is going to cause anybody to lose money on a PSA 9. Many of the PSA 9s, you're going to turn a small profit. And that's, if you're going to dabble in soccer, this is the way to dabble in it. Buy raw, grade, and do it with plays where there's very low risk and you can turn the cards quickly. Messi, Bellingham, Yamal, these are all players that sell quickly. You're not going to get stuck with these cards. Brad, made that same mistake holding my 2019 Topps Finest Holland. It was a $300 card. Now it's worth $180. Yeah. So Holland is a player that if the card is rare and it's a low pop, and he earns another golden boot or does something crazy, those cards over a long term, Brad, could regain some value or regain a way to get out. However, that is what my buddy lost the most money on too, was Mbappe, Messi, Ronaldo, and Haaland. Those 4 players. Oh, and Vinny, he had 5. So he had 5 players that he really invested heavily in. He got a lot of PSA 10s, and he held them for almost 6 months, waiting for them to take that leap. And it never happened. And he ended up losing almost $2,500 over the course of a year on his soccer plays. So now he is strictly listening to my plays. He has recovered most of that back now, as I'm constantly messaging and emailing him plays like I just shared with you guys for soccer. And he has been doing very well with it. And he has almost recovered his full $2,500. So he's almost back to even a year after the disaster. Mark has a PSA 10 Herbert Hollow, got it for $200. I see they're selling at auction for $300. You dumping your quarter QBs soon prior to the season. Yes, Mark, I have. I've been selling a lot of my football. I'm on vacation now for a week. I take a week off every year on my birthday. So I'm off the next 6 days. All of my remaining football cards will be listed for sale by the time I go back to work next week, Thursday. So everything will be listed. I'm not holding anything into the season. There are some quarterbacks that I am going to be kind of stingy on my buy it now prices. Joe Burrow being one, CJ Stroud being one. Herbert is a player that if I can get 300 for his optic hollow right now, I would take that, Mark. That seems like a fair price right now. I could see that card if they get off to a slow start. He did lose all of his weapons. I know he's got a really good looking rookie receiver out there, but I think Herbert could struggle a little bit this year under the new offense. So I am not holding any Herbert cards. I have, I think, 5 of them. They're all going to get listed this weekend, and they are all going to disappear before the start of the season. I'm not risking anything. And then auctions right now before week 1 games. I'll be honest, with the lower end cards, I've been running 7-day auctions on all of the lower end cards. The cards that I know that I did raw to grade and a PSA 9 breaks me even or makes me a little bit of money, and the PSA 10s I'm making bank. Those are the ones I'm running on auction. The little bit more desirable players, I have those all at buy it nows. I don't have any CJ Strouds at auction. Those are all buy it nows. I don't have any Burrows at auction. My Kirk Cousins, my Bijan Robinsons, those are all buy it nows. So I'm kind of picking and choosing which cards I'm doing the buy it nows. The ones that I'm not concerned about the value drastically dropping, those are the players that I am going to be stingy on. The players that I'm afraid the cards could drop like a rock, those are all going to be listed this weekend. And if they're not sold, they will go in a 7-day auction so that they sell the week of the first week of the season. I'm not taking any chances into week 2. I want anything that has any risk at all gone by in between weeks 1 and week 2. Looking at strength of schedule, the first 3 to 4 weeks of the season is really important. Also, when you're going to do buy it nows and hold cards, you want to look at teams that you think are going to get off to a fast start versus a slow start. There are a couple of players and a couple of teams that have absolutely brutal schedules to start the season, and those make those players very risky. One of those is the Colts and Anthony Richardson, for example. The Colts' first 3 games are brutal. If they come out of the first 3 games 2-1, Anthony Richardson's cards, or even 3-0, Anthony Richardson's cards are going to go right to the moon. If they come out of it 1-2 or 0-3, Anthony Richardson cards are going to drop significantly. And there could be a buying opportunity by week 3, 4, 5 for Richardson if the Colts struggle early, because that early season schedule is brutal for the Colts. Here, I'll pull this up here just so I can give it as an example. So they start off the season here. They start off with the Texans. Even though it's a home game, the Texans are loaded and they are one of the favorites this year. So going to be a tough game. They could win. They're going to probably be underdogs even at home to start the season. Then they go to the Packers. The Packers, if they can build on what they finished the season last year looking like, there's a very high likelihood they're going to be underdogs in game 2 against the Packers. They could lose that game, so they could be looking at 0-2. Then week 3, they get the Bears at home, which you would think is kind of like a sigh of relief. Okay, went through the Texans, went through the Packers, now we get the Bears. But for anybody that's kind of been watching Chicago media, Caleb Williams is looking legit. Their offensive weapons are scary. If they put an offensive coordinator in there that knows how to use Williams, and Williams actually lives up to the billing that he has with the weapons that he has, I could see the Colts losing game 3 to the Bears. That's a game they're going to probably be favored to win, but it would not surprise me with the Bears defense and their new reshaped offense. The Colts could go 0-3. Then in week 4, they're at home against the Steelers. That's a game they should win, but the Steelers, you don't know how they're going to be playing. Then they've got the Jaguars, then the Titans, then the Dolphins. So even if the Colts come out and they play amazing, I don't see the Colts, if they play just like the best football of their lives, I don't see the Colts any better than 4-3 in a perfect world. More than likely, they could be 1-6, 2-5, 3-4, and play really well. So Richardson is a player I'm going to get rid of early and look to buy back into maybe in the middle of the season if he stays healthy. So hope that helps you guys. Hope that helps Mark. All right, guys, that is, if nobody else has any questions, that is a wrap for this week. Like I said, I am going to be back with basketball and football next week. I'm going to hopefully have Colonial Sports Cards joining me in a live stream next week. We got to get that worked out. Hopefully it'll be next Wednesday. So stay tuned for that. And again, if you guys got any questions during the week, feel free to reach out. I know a lot of you already do that. I usually get a dozen or more messages every week from you guys. I appreciate that. And I try to answer them in as timely a manner as I can. So hope you guys found this helpful with some soccer. If anybody wants to dabble in it, if not, that's okay. But good luck this week, and we will be back next week, guys. Have a great week. Talk to you later.